Are you struggling to get your commercial cleaning prospects that you want to buy your commercial cleaning services and become long-term recurring clients with your business to actually say yes? Do you feel like you're missing what they're looking for? Well, in this video, you're gonna get 4 things that I see within my own commercial cleaning company that clients are looking for before they say yes. And if you don't know who I am, my name is Matt. I'm a 7-figure commercial cleaning CEO. We built our commercial cleaning company up from scratch. I like to thank God for that. And so now we help others do the same. So without dilly-dallying around, let's jump right in to number 1. And because I work with so many different commercial cleaning owners and get to see all kinds of different situations, I have to do this one as number 1 because it's a make or break in so many different occasions. And that is, they're looking for professionalism. And yeah, while this may seem obvious, yes, you need to dress nice. If you're not doing the basics of looking good, smelling good, personal hygiene, then you're not going to even make it halfway through this professionalism point. Because those things are a given. So I'm not going to hound that point because I know that you are most likely a professional commercial cleaning business owner. So what can you do to achieve this to a higher level? Well, let's shift a mindset here. And I'm going to put a different word in place of professionalism that's going to guide how you should think about all of your presentation, whether it's yourself, your team, your materials moving forward. And that is, I want you to aim for being polished. You see, this professionalism isn't just about looking nice. It's about making sure that the entire experience and really the ecosystem of them interacting with your company, whether that's through marketing, or that's through the appointment setting part, or that's through the walkthrough and conversation, or even the presentation at the end, it's all polished and all makes sense based on what they've seen on your website and what they're hearing right now. So yes, these are things like your dress and personal appearance. These are things like your brochures and flyers, even the proposal document itself. Are you putting things on a basic Word document that's just white with black letters? Because you're probably competing against people that have a design on there and their logo, and they may even have the client logo on there. So they're looking for professionalism. You need to be polished, and that's going to achieve the professionalism and take it to another level. Number 2, they're looking for a company that investigates. They want someone during the walkthrough who is digging. What I mean by that is you're not just taking their word for things. If they say, well, we've had issues with quality, and if you just say, okay, all right, that you just have had issues with quality, and you write down in your notes, issues with quality, right? And then you say, all right, well, let's talk about budget next. Well, you didn't try to understand what they're really dealing with. What you need to do is dig in. Okay, well, what things are off that are making you say that quality is being missed? When we do our walkthrough, show me those specific areas that we talked about. How long has that been going on? How is that affecting you? And then if you think of any possible sources to that problem, are you probing for those? Are you going to go look in those areas or look in the supply closet to see what's really happening? Because ultimately what you're doing here is demonstrating a deep understanding of their problems that they're facing and then demonstrating that you have the ability to solve those problems for them live in real time. If all that you are is a yes man or a yes woman, then you're probably not going to be getting very many deals. Or if you do get them, I will almost guarantee you that the money is also not going to be there because it's just going to be a price thing for them. What you need to focus on is investigating and digging around to find that pain and then uncovering a solution. Now let me pause right here. This doesn't mean that you're going to pitch them on the spot during this walkthrough. They don't have time for that. They still need a proposal. And you need time to collect your thoughts and get your measurements and the price and all those things. But they need to get a sense and a feel for relief because you were there and they can put their hope in you that you can solve that pain and their problem because you did the investigation and the digging. Okay, so the third factor that they're looking for, whether they know it or not, is speed. In the eyes of someone who's looking for somebody to hire, speed equals value. And I don't just mean moving fast. What I mean is the whole experience feels like you're just on top of things. Here's an example. Whenever a quote request comes into our office, we respond within minutes. And our goal is to visit that facility that day or even the next day. And there have been multiple occasions Whenever we hear from a client after submitting the proposal, reviewing the price, getting things worked out with them, and even them signing on the dotted line, they said, you all got all this done before we even heard back from the other companies we reached out to. So now what do you think they're going to think about our service? How are they going to be expecting us to perform? Yeah, they're going to expect a very high value service with a lot of speed because we demonstrated that through this entire process. And now consider those other companies that took a little while to get back. Their conversation wasn't as thorough. It wasn't as polished, right? That completely separates your business from other people's companies whenever you demonstrate a level of speed that is unmatched in your market. Now, that being said, you don't have to be the fastest ever, but just know that speed directly affects how your clients or prospective clients perceive the value you can provide. They're going to extrapolate that out into if we have a problem, how quickly is it going to be resolved? If we have any additional needs, how soon can we have those addressed? Now, I also do understand what it's like to get so busy that it's hard to even fathom taking on any more clients. So if you're in that place, if you're hurting from your growth, that's great. What I encourage you to do is to manufacture your speed. So here's how you do that. Number one, you want to set up auto responses for all of your quote requests that come in. What you don't want to have happen is if someone reaches out and they don't get anything back at all, it feels like it just went out into the ether and now they don't know what to expect. That's not a really good experience. Even if it's a system-generated response, they know that you took the time to set that up. They know that you took the time to think about them and care about them before they even interacted with you. And then simply, for number two, it is beat deadlines. The easiest way of doing this is something like this. Instead of saying, I'll get you a quote sometime next week, instead, what you can say is, I'll get you a quote by end of day on Tuesday next week. And intentionally set it out so that you can get it to them maybe Friday before the weekends or Monday morning, but set an easy deadline for you to beat that doesn't seem like it's too long for the client, but you demonstrate a level of speed and exceeding their expectations. Okay, now number four, what do they look for? They look for somebody that has a plan. And I don't just mean what's on the proposal. What I mean is at every step of the way, are they interacting with somebody that knows how to carry things forward? For example, if it's you or someone in your office that's taking in the quote request, is that person or you letting the client know the steps forward? The first step is this conversation. Here's some of the things we're going to talk about. The next step is we're going to schedule the appointment and we'll be there. Here's what we're going to do. The next step after that is to receive the quote and here's how to move forward from there. Laying out a plan. You don't got to go super detailed on it. You don't want to bore them, but they want to work with somebody who has things planned out. That actually builds trust when they see the steps completed that you promised would be completed. And oftentimes what you'll find is whenever you have a plan, it creates clarity. And that clarity is what eliminates price concerns, because the whole point of asking for references or asking someone to lower their price or to really push them in uncomfortable ways is just because they don't trust them as much. They're trying to offset their financial risk. But whenever you've demonstrated that you can provide a clear path forward and they know what to expect, and you're showing them the promises and you've done the investigating, you've been polished and you've been fast through this whole process, they're going to trust you a lot more when it comes down to implementing services at the price you ask for. Now, that being said, something that does affect all of this right here on the plan side is definitely having a plan on the proposal. Don't just list out a scope of service of what's going to be done, how often. What you need to do is put specific objectives on there, even timelines, or even specific staff members with what they're going to do. Now, the scope and breadth of that can vary depending on the account size and the needs and the number of shifts and all those different factors. But the idea is you want to provide as much clarity as you can without overwhelming them, but helping them see how it's going to work and how you're going to be eliminating this pain and not just promising you're going to. When you combine all four of these things that clients are looking for, whether they know it or not, you're going to start getting more yeses, more clients for your commercial cleaning company. And if you want help with that or the entire blueprint on how to build a 7-figure commercial cleaning company, check out the links down below. That's where you can get the clarity to move quicker towards that 7-figure level and get my help along the way. I hope this video helped you. Thanks so much for watching. If you know someone else who owns a commercial cleaning business and is struggling to grow, please share it with them. Again, my name is Matt, your 7-figure commercial cleaning CEO. Please like, subscribe, share this video, and until next time, keep building.